Hi, I'm Bran, and I love When Calls the Heart.
Hi, I'm Jax, and I love Bran's Mountie hat.
I'm Dan, and I despise When Calls the Heart. And this is the
Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hello to everybody, one and all, especially to the Hardys. The Hardys are listening to us.
Hardys.
Because there's a lot to talk about.
There is.
A lot to talk about.
And it turns out when you do something as wacky nunu as this show is doing this season, who else do you turn to cover that but Deck the Hallmark?
That's exactly right.
To get your honest feedback on what kind of crack they're smoking over there in Hope Valley this week.
I don't know what kind of crack they're smoking, but I tell you, I want some. I had a blast this week.
You were at 90s Con last weekend.
Yeah, you were.
Does
it feel like it was just yesterday, Jax?
It feels a little bit like it was maybe just an hour ago that I returned, in fact.
Now,
this is what it feels like. It stays with you all week, you know?
This is put on by the That's for Entertainment team, the same crew that does the Christmas Con. What's the difference in the crowds? Is it are the Hallmark fans nicer than 90s Con fans, or what do we got?
You know, that's actually very interesting, and I've given it more thought than probably most people would.
This is great, because you asked a question that was unanswerable. I would even stay away from that answer. Jax won't ever, are you kidding? You asked me, I'll give you this group's nicer. Jax would never say that, not on her deathbed. You asked her that question like she was going to give you a quick, Hallmark fans are nicer. Next.
I did.
Well, I do. Here's okay. I think that Hallmark fans probably have more warm fuzzies, and are, yes, probably a little, no, this is not script. It's not script.
Hallmark fans are nicer, but 90s Cons fans look better. They're prettier.
Well, no. There's more diversity at 90s Con.
Sure.
Okay.
Both of age, race. I would say there's more neurodivergent people there. There's a whole spectrum of people. I feel as though I fit in nicely into both of those groups, but I activate different parts of my personality in each of those groups.
I will say this: you're so good at giving a non-answer, it's become almost unbearable. You are. No one is better than you at that, Jax. And I've seen you do it in person.
And you're running for president.
It's even more impressive in person. You can absolutely just find someone abhorrent, and it is like a master clinic of being. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, Jax. I'm serious. That's a compliment.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm watching a lot of West Wing, so
it's helping.
Well, it looked like it was a lot of fun, though. It looked like it was a lot of fun down there in Tampa. It is a convention that I would like to go to, because I'd just I'd
if it wasn't in Tampa, though, right?
I'd love to sit in on a Boy Meets World panel. Or something like that. I'd be all there for that.
Yeah. I have to say, I really miss conventions that you guys aren't at. You're my people.
You miss conventions that we're not at? All right. That's interesting.
Well, so you can be mean. My fault.
Screw you too, man.
You save it until we're most vulnerable, and then wham, right in the back.
Every time I'm at a convention that you're not at, I love it.
I miss it. I'm wistful for the times of not hanging out with you two.
It's so funny because that's the time I meant to be the most earnest and sweet, and I just screwed it all up. I miss you guys when you aren't there a lot.
We have a fun time.
It's not the same.
We have a fun time at those cons.
Do you have a good time?
And I would have loved, if we could have found a reason to cover the 90s Con, we would have been there. But we don't really have one.
We don't really have.
Can we brainstorm that for next time? Because I don't really want to do another one of these without you guys.
Let's figure out a 90s podcast that we can are like 5-minute episodes, and let's record 50 of them. So a bunch. Just take a day, and then we will release them once a week, and then we can pitch. We're the 90s podcast people by next year.
Yes. Yes.
5 minutes each?
Yeah, just like a quick hitter. Just like the Friends Forever segment in Back to Bayside.
What if we do a show we recorded a ham radio show
We did record
in the
a ham
90s,
radio
and we
show
actually
in the
have
90s.
that audio.
We have that audio.
so maybe we
That's
should
right.
release that.
Today's big thing.
Today's big thing
That's
is
right.
the name of it.
You don't know about this. We're not doing a bit.
No, I don't.
We're not doing a bit, Jax.
This is
Well,
true.
We,
I thought
we,
for sure
we
it
piloted
is-
a bunch of shows.
It's not true.
Oh my! No,
It's not true that in the way in which I said it.
we piloted a bunch of shows, most of which made like air for us or the light of day, like Yo Gavel Gavel, Back to Bayside, History is Story. But the one that we were most excited about was called Today's Big Thing, and it was Bran and I did a show, a daily news show, but it takes place in the 90s, and we act like we don't know what's coming next. So
That's so cool.
we did like so much research.
So we record it in present day, but act as if we're recording it in
as though
'97.
we found these archives. So the beginning of every episode, like we found this audio. Brandon and I, when we were younger, we did this thing, and it's a 15-minute daily show.
Like Bill Clinton's never going to do anything wrong.
That's right. Like we the week we did was the 1996, and it was like Democratic National Convention, Seventh Heaven premiered. The Macarena was big. So like we do this whole back and like it was as planned and organized and structured as we've ever been in our lives. We planned so long to hit every note perfectly, and we released it to the double deckers, and the response was anywhere from "Oh my gosh, this is great" to this is stupid.
Wait, is there any way you can send that to me? This sounds like something that's so up my
you can
alley.
listen to it on on a double decker podcast feed for people that join Brave Jam Plus. But I can also
gotta go
just send
back.
it. I
That
can
was
just
in
you just search for it
2019,
when
I
you
think, is when we did.
subscribe. But I can send it to you. I have it in a.
Guys, this sounds so
Yeah,
funny.
and we did a week of it. We were so proud of it, and it's the one thing that people that loved us were like very tepid on. So clearly, too much planning on our end because we like had audio that you put in there. Like it was a lot to do, and we were gonna do a year, so we're gonna do it every week for a year, like from '96, from like whatever summer.
Aaron,
96.
did you like the idea?
Can I just explain why? Because I was
Please
one of the
do,
people
Aaron.
who was
It's
not
fine.
thrilled about it.
I'm not thrilled with movies all the time. It's okay.
But I remember you were like, here's a bunch of pilots. One of them is going to make it onto a show. And so when I was like voting, I was like, well, I really like History is Story.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that eventually all of these are going to make
true.
it.
Fair.
Because I did like it, but I had to choose one.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. And we knew History would probably be the one. I don't know why we would word it like that because we're stupid, I guess. But it was just to show that everybody's just kind of like, oh, okay. So, it was too much work. It was easily the most
Maybe
work we'd ever-
maybe we'll bring it back.
Yeah, it was a
Maybe
fun
it
time.
Well, I like the idea. There's some sort of fun, like people love nostalgia, of course, but also I love the idea of thinking of you guys. Did you guys watch Pen 15?
We talked about this before. Pen 15 is phenomenal.
Oh, yes. Brandon
Brandon
hasn't, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like it's this really cool thing of getting to go back in the archives with
Yeah,
you
it's like a
guys.
revisionist history or like what would you
Yeah.
know, and so we do a little bit of joking, but a lot of it we play it like very straight up. Like we really do, and then occasionally we'll be like like on the Seventh Heaven, we had
That's
a lot.
tough.
That was a tough one. We had a
Because
lot of-
the dad turns out that he's the
Yeah.
worst person in
Yeah.
the world.
Truly.
And we talk about
yeah.
how like he seems so trustworthy, like pretty dark stuff.
But he does, right?
Yeah,
Like he
yeah.
does seem like that.
yeah.
But in '97, you're like, man, I believe this guy's a pastor. Like he's so believable, so trustworthy. Like knowing what you know, it was a pretty dark play for us, to be honest.
But we
with
did
you.
learn the Macarena. So I knew it already, but like we did it on the show, and it wasn't for video. It's just Brandon and I on audio.
Yeah, it's
So-
good stuff.
It's a fun time.
That's why you need Philo.
That's right. That's why you
so
need
you can
Philo.
watch
Philo.
the
That's exactly
video.
right.
You can see me in my glasses, Brandon's Mountie hat,
Speaking of
Oh,
Mountie
you
hat,
Dan doing the Macarena.
That's right. Speaking of Mountie hat, let's get to this episode. It is season 10, episode 8. It's
A
called.
cure for what ails you.
Ooh, it's pretty good. Jax.
The Babysitters Club, Allie's Big Emergency.
Oh wow. You came prepared today. It's none of those. It is
Babysitters Club : What was the rest of it? What was the subtitle?
Allie's Big Adventure.
Allie's Big Emergency.
Wow, you really did.
Emergency.
Big emergency.
Fair.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And the cover is like her, like in the front, like yelling for Nathan, Dad. What is and what should never be?
Okay. What is and what should never be?
What does that mean?
Yeah, this is so stupid.
Well, let me give the synopsis and then maybe
I'm sure Team Nathan's having a fit with this. Well, I don't know if you remember, but in season 7, episode 3, they said this exact line when quoting when they were on the date, and he was in the rain and said, "What is and what ever should be."
Bill is moping
and they
around.
sat on this one rock, and they marked the rock. It looks different than the rest of the rocks. That's how you know that they're going to be together forever.
Bill is moping around again because he was swindled for his land. Lucas walks over and tells them that he checked in with Madeline's fiance, and I wrote this down. Bernhardt is his name. I'm going to call him Bernie. Bernie for now on, because that'll be fun for me. So homie just walks over and doesn't seem to know a lick about Jamie, the kid. And Elizabeth finds that suspicious, because who could forget Jamie? I forgot his name, but I do remember the kid. Rosemary is annoyed that the governor's campaign isn't going to stop by Hope Valley. And so a bunch of them decide to come up with something that'll attract them. They land on a choir. That'll do the trick. Allie is going to babysit baby Jack, and she is pumped.
Ugh.
She's pumped. Nathan goes to check out Bernie and his men because there were complaints about noise. Bernie is like, it's nothing, just working on a well and stuff, getting this shack ready to go for Madeline. You know what I mean, man? Allie and baby Jack play hide and seek. Allie can't find him. She ends up losing Jack in the first minute of babysitting, which I think is a record. So she calls Nathan to come and find him, and he immediately finds him under the couch because she just didn't look, apparently. It's like me looking for my wallet in the morning. I'm like, where's my wallet? It's right there, man.
That's really good. Are you working on that for the Type 5 down at the Laugh Shack?
You guys like me?
Wallet out there?
You guys like me?
You don't even look at all. It's like, where's my wallet? Am I right?
It is in my pants the whole time.
My pants.
Yeah, that's exactly. Ray, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. It's been a long time.
It has been a very long time.
I talk about eggnog oyster shooters one time, and you're like, never again. You were throwing stuff at me afterwards.
You were at 90s Con.
I was at 90s Con.
Did you have fun?
It was a big deal. You know I'm a houser.
I know that about you. Jax, did you see Rig there?
No, I didn't.
All right, I'll see myself out. We'll see you guys later.
See you in months from now.
Hey, brand nice hat. You know what that would go great with?
What's
my
that?
pants.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'll see you later.
So, finds the baby.
Tell me, Jack. That's the other Carter.
So she calls Nathan. Yeah, Nathan found the baby. Lee gets a big rush order for a trestle bridge, which I don't. What's a trestle bridge?
It's a bridge made by Dave Trestle.
Hello there. Yes, me.
Dave?
Yeah, what's up, babe?
Dave?
What's up, baby?
You got the Dave Trestle on the
It's
line?
Dave Trestle.
Okay.
Call your friends and family. It's me, Dave Trestle. And I'm having a real good time. It's me, Dave Trestle. I'm going to build a bridge in Millway, Dave Trestle.
Okay.
What's up, babe?
Are you done singing? Is that it?
I'm good.
Okay, great.
It's me,
What's so
Dave
special about your bridges?
I don't build bridges.
I just said that's what I. All right, get out of here, Dave.
It's me, Dave Trestle.
Whatever.
Wasted your time. At least he's aware. Trestle bridge. And they're like, man, this seems a little bit weird, this order, but you know, it's keeping the people at work, so what can you do? Allie falls asleep on the couch after baby Jack's asleep, so she's, finished the job. Nathan stays there. Elizabeth comes home. They talk. And he says that he's giving up on love. And they kind of chuckle a little bit.
Say something about giving up.
And they talk about parenting. And he leaves.
I don't know if you know this. They're both single parents. They have that in common. I want you to know that they both have children they're raising, Bran.
And
it's
this
a big deal.
And for people watching on,
does Lucas have a kid?
No.
Okay. I think my
hey buddy.
I think I rest my case.
Yeah. He walks outside after having this conversation, and I am wearing the hat, and so I will act it out. But it's one of these, like, he closed the door and he just goes.
He did not know. This was not the end of an after-school special. He definitely has a look like
It's a look of confused
it's a look
joy.
Like I'm confused, but I've missed this.
I'm confused.
It's not like I learned to say no to dope, like Bran just did. It's like I'm confused, but like that was better than nothing.
Me,
right?
Dave
It was like
Trestle.
it was like very much like a
Currently
furrowed brow,
high on
and then
marijuana. Me, Dave.
What did you
Trestle.
just say,
What?
Dave Trestle? Did you just say something about marijuana?
I did not say no to dope.
You did not. You
Dave
said yes
Trestle.
to dope?
Yeah. If me, Dave Trestle, I'm actually having a lot of drugs now.
Boy, between Rig and Dave today, it's not been great.
It's a tough day.
It's a tough day.
Anywho,
You can get the Dave Tressel's Say Yes to Dope shirts. And for some reason, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but contractually I'm obligated to. It's promo code DECK.
oh, that's weird.
Promo code DECK at checkout, which is weird. That is something I have to
Struck
say.
a deal with him.
I can't believe that we are getting a kickback on the Say Yes to Dope shirts.
It's me, Dave
But
Trestle.
apparently we are.
You just bought my next purchase of some drugs.
So on Fourth Wall, we're gonna have a Say Yes to Dope shirt for a weekend.
I don't know.
I hope not.
I don't think we'll do that.
Promo
So
code DECK, though, we do get a kickback. So please, if you do.
he leaves and he left his Mountie hat.
Oh,
and Elizabeth finds it, and that reminds her that she hasn't been to her dead husband's gravesite in, I don't know, decades.
Ever.
And so the next day she goes, catches Jack up on all the doings around town. Rosalie, remember Rosalie? The
Rosaline.
girl. Rosaline?
Rosaline?
Oh, really? I thought it was Rosalie.
Rosaline?
Whatever. You sure it's Rosaline? Not Rosalie?
Pretty sure it's Rosaline. Yes.
I don't know. Anyway, she's walking around town, making her way downtown, walking around,
fast.
goes and sees Gowan, and Gowan is like, hey. And she's like, get out of my way, man. And he's like, I just want you to be happy. And she's like, you're behind a scholarship, aren't you? And he's like,
Is Rosaline.
guilty. And he's like, guilty as charged. And she's like, I don't even want it. I don't even want it right now. Spoiler alert, she'll come around. Because she will. She comes around at the end of the episode. She ends up moving down at church. It's a whole moving scene. Elizabeth decides that she wants to check in on the boys because of the guys at work, and she's like,
on the boys.
she's like, hey, what are you doing? And they're like, we're building a well. And she is once again just could not be more suspicious of this crew. The episode ends with the choir singing and just absolutely crushing it, and lives are changed, and we're also. And that, my friends, was When Calls the Heart,
When
season
Calls the
10,
Heart,
episode
season
8.
10.
I don't remember the name of the title. We did it.
We did do it, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this episode down here on Deck the Hallmark. That was Jack's Mountie hat?
Man.
Yeah, because it was Jack's Mountie hat because Nathan didn't come over in his, and she gave little Jack that hat to
That's
play
right.
with, so he's
not
probably
Nathan's
playing
at
with
all. Nathan's only responsible for Jack's death.
It. Yeah,
Let's.
Sheila, he doesn't mean
The
it. Don't
quick
worry.
confirmation from Jack's there was all I needed. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, you got it. Check.
Let's get to this. Let's share our hot takes. Let's share exactly how we felt about last week's episode of Deck the Hallmark. Got
Went off the rails.
Got
I
out
even
of
heard
hand.
about it on Twitter. I even got tagged on Twitter that it was off the rails. That's how you know it was off the rails.
But like in a
That's how
good
it was off the
way?
rails.
A great way.
Totally.
Thanks.
Well, Hardy's hi, Jack's here. Just letting you know if you're joining us for the first time and you're confused in the synopsis why we were talking about Nick Carter or drugs. It's okay. We're gonna get to When Calls the
It's
Heart.
him, Dave Trussell.
It's a good song. It's a good song. Jax, what did you
It's
think
on.
about this
It's really good.
episode?
Okay, so this episode was definitely my favorite of the season so far. It is incredibly spicy. I never thought that apple juice would be a sexy drink of choice, but here we are.
Yeah, we are.
We have Ben Platt singing here.
Do we really?
Ben
Wow.
Rosenbaum is like
Oh.
this hot. Yeah, I really thought I was picturing him in Dear Evan Hansen and Parade, and I was like, okay, Ben Rosenbaum, is there anything that you can't do?
Amen.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
And I am here for his romance with May. I thought she was really cute and sweet and funny in this episode. I'm loving what's blossoming and blooming.
I do love how they just like decided we're just going to completely ignore any sparks that she had with Nathan last season.
Oh,
And we're just
yeah.
going to act like it didn't happen.
Well, right, because he's already had like a supposed, which I'll get to later in the wait what, of he's already like had another breakup with Faith in the meantime. Like we're forgetting that it was Lucas, Elizabeth, Nathan, and May
That's
on
right.
the poster
And
season
that's
9.
actually the best coupling there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Nathan and May was the best chemistry of anybody on the show. That, in my opinion.
They did have really, really good chemistry. We didn't get to like fully realize enough stuff, but it's interesting. The thing about this episode and what we were talking about last week too is, when we were like, are they going to do it? What's happening? They're definitely going to put Nathan and Elizabeth back together. It's going to happen.
You say that like you've confirmed it with sources.
Oh, no. I have.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, you guys. No,
You
I
heard
have
it
not.
here
No,
first.
sorry.
Jacqueline Collier reporting Nathan and Elizabeth back together.
Let's send it down to Jax for the scoop. Jax, take it away.
I can't confirm or deny if they're going to get back together. I don't have it on good authority, but I think the writing is on the wall. It is happening, you guys. It is on. They're drinking apple juice.
Yep.
They're long and flirty glances. The only thing that's making me really scared and nervous is like they're not doing enough, I don't think yet, to establish that she and Lucas aren't right for each other. Now, I know that Team Nathan will disagree with me, and I get that.
What are you talking about? He wants to build her a house away from her best
Yes.
friend.
Well, but no, he's being all sweet, and like they're going through real relationship stuff where like he gets weird about her investigating, which I hated, but then he sees the error of his ways and apologizes to her. And like this is normal things that you work out in relationships. And I'm just like, we need to figure out something to move this along because it still feels very much like a love triangle, and I just need them to figure out a way out of this. I thought we were done with
We
it.
needed
but
him
we're
to figure out
definitely
a way out of it in season 8.
Yes.
I like they are not doing enough. You're 100% right. Like, and also, and go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay.
You do your hot take
This
because I
is-
got plenty here.
Here,
No, but I want to. You'll talk about that later, right?
Of course.
Because, yes, we need to
Yeah, yeah,
announce.
this is almost if nothing happens, it is the most
Oh, man, I
offensive
can't wait.
thing
I
in
cannot wait.
in the history of television. If at this point, especially after this conversation, like after man, come on, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? It'll be the most, and I'll put it on the boards here. They will win the award for most disrespectful thing of all time. I know.
They'll win the award.
The award
plural, for most disrespectful
thing of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that at the deck.
They will collect so many trophies because if they like, what are we even doing here? If not for nothing, you know what I mean? Like there has to be something going on, and I think it's clear as crystal that it is. That is true. Doing what we did last week, where we read ahead some synopses. I do like it's clear that they're probably going in that direction, right? Like Lucas is going to want to run for mayor or something. He's going to have to leave town. Nathan's almost going to die. Like, if they don't do it, most disrespectful thing of all time.
Of all time. Now that has got some stiff competition from literally every real thing that was disrespectful. However,
Okay.
what I find interesting about this is that I don't feel like, aside from the look,
It's me, Dave Tressel.
you got it. You good,
I
Dave?
won that award one time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Was it because you were selling drug, like say yes to drug shirts?
It is for that reason.
Okay, I thought it might be.
People didn't like that.
Yeah. I think the problem is that aside from the two actors, Krakow and McGarry, they have chemistry. They do have chemistry. I've said it. The first episode of this season, I said there were sparks. I stand by it. Everybody else is on board. But the way they are writing Elizabeth is still friend zoning Nathan. She is. She is still very much with Lucas, and the way that she is reacting to a lot of this isn't like, maybe I still love him. Now, we had the look.
Hold on.
No, I didn't interrupt you the whole time. I didn't interrupt you the whole time. You let me finish, and then you can go. It's real simple. I let you talk the whole time. So just let me finish. I'll let you say whatever you want. We talked about the look. That look is very brief and fleeting. And some people didn't see it at all. I did see what you were talking about. But the way she reacts to this is not how Nathan reacts to this. Nathan is reacting like a forlorn love that could be returning into flames. And she is reacting like, this is sweet. Nathan's a really sweet guy. She still isn't giving this like, oh my gosh, I think I'm in love with Nathan performance. And so we are in a very weird spot because her and Lucas are doing stuff. They're working stuff out. They're moving forward. Their relationship is not stagnant and it is not regressing. It is progressing. And so you're having the lead who has chosen one of these two dudes and their relationship is progressing towards marriage. And then you're doing this, which has been happening literally all season. And they're going to do it. And it's going to show no integrity at all. And if they do...
We haven't talked about the wedding in 5+ weeks.
But they're still... No, they talked about it. They mentioned it this week. She mentions it when she's talking to Jack.
Said Jack.
Yeah, the wedding planning is coming along. She says that.
It's coming along.
So
slowly.
The thing is that if they do this, then it's such a laugher. It's so laughable and shows like they just have basically just decided to start over.
Well, now we've put them in a rock and a hard place.
If they don't do it, then they're the worst.
Most offensive thing of all time.
Disrespectful thing of all.
Most offensive
time. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I understand. I'm not saying that you're incorrect. I do think she's attempting to convince herself that he's just a friend. She's trying to friend zone him. I feel like she's trying to convince herself, like, oh yeah, he's just a friend.
He's just a friend.
But imagine, I
swear he's just a friend. Oh, Nathan, you
imagine your fiance having a conversation at night in her house with someone that she was in a love triangle with for like 3 years.
I honestly believe if Lucas was in the room there, he probably would just be like, "Let's not be engaged anymore." Was
the conversation off limits, Jax?
But the conversation, I do think she's above board in that conversation, though,
because she's trying to friend zone him.
Yeah.
Yes, I think she is above board. I think she is trying to friend zone him. But remember the part of the conversation right in the beginning when she's about to serve him the apple juice, and she's like, I'm so glad you're here for Allie's sake.
Oh my God!
And was like,
it's like she's constantly reminding herself, friend zone him, friend zone him.
Yeah,
friend zone him.
And she's like, oh, sorry, fiance, you can't come in my house. But then she has it. Like if Lucas was still wandering about the town at night for whatever reason,
because of the thing that he has underneath his safe, under the fish.
Yeah, under the fish, the money. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what would he think if he saw Nathan leaving then? Yeah. Like it all feels. It's so strange because Dan, yes, like I see exactly what you see, but everything going on with Lucas, but then also it's like it's all heating up with Nathan.
What I'm saying is if the two actors didn't have such natural chemistry together, there are so many of these scenes that we could easily say, look, we're reading too much into this. Guys, we're reading too much into this. But the fact that they continue to put them in every single episode, save for one, tells you what you need to know.
Well, and the way that he responded from that conversation when he closed the door.
When he left, that was like, oh my God.
That is you can dismiss the look that she gave him dancing.
Yeah.
when she turned her face for the split second. You can't dismiss.
No, you cannot.
You cannot dismiss that he is still very clearly in love with her. You can't.
No. He
Clear
is,
as crystal.
That's what they're trying to convey here, is that he never really has gotten over.
But you want to know what snaps somebody out of the friend zone? Almost dying. So I guess we'll find out. Nothing makes you go, you know what? He's not in the friend zone. I've tried to convince myself that to just be friends. I've tried to, but I can't because he's almost dead.
The fact that they're doing this,
watch him actually not almost die in the season. It's just bad information.
They've painted themselves into such a corner. Sturman's going to stir, but she has painted this show into a corner to where there is no good answer in the last 4. Like, what is a satisfying conclusion to this season for you?
Yeah, well, here's the tough thing is we have, 4 episodes left?
Yeah.
So it's like, we're not going to get the answers that we want. I think the satisfying answer is calling off the engagement.
Why?
For one reason or another. I think what she's going to do is he's going to, again, it's not fair because we cheated and we read the synopses, but he's going to run for governor and she's not going to want to be a part of that. And she's just like, I'll support you, but I that's not what I want for my future. And so it's just going to be like a, hey, but also what we know is that Nathan, again, where I'm making up things that haven't happened yet, but assuming that the information that we got about Nathan almost dying or being on his deathbed or something, like, hey, I'm going to tell you that it's because of this, but I know in the back of my mind, I've got this guy. And no matter how hard I've tried to put him in the friend zone, I can't.
Yeah, because even what we saw in the preview coming up when Elizabeth says, I can't go through this again, or I can't do this again. You know, I think that she tried to convince herself that if she wasn't with Nathan, she wouldn't go through the same pain that she went through with Jack. But she still loves him. The heart wants what the heart wants. And even if she's not with him, you can't control what happens in life. You can't control pain. If you're open to loving and you're vulnerable, then you will have pain. And she's going to realize that and then be with Nathan.
It's like I've always said. When calls the heart.
It's good stuff there, Brandon. Really good stuff. Any more from Dave Trussell? No, we're good.
No, not now. It's time for all the feels. Jax?
We're just at the feels. Oh, I didn't even give the rest of my hot take. This is a true story.
We're 32 minutes in. Good
We're
Lord.
32 minutes in. Oh my gosh. I do need to say this. Nathan and Elizabeth stuff aside, I need to say this. This is my favorite episode of the season. And the reason it's my favorite episode of the season is because for the first time in 10 years in this program, we get an honest Gowan and the Mines moment. Like, there is a not a
where someone treats Gowan for the murderer that he is.
But not only that, but also him like reckoning that act and what it means to be sorry. Not this fake stuff that they do where Aunt Becky is like, oh, let's just try to redeem him. Not that. Like, we get an actual honest to God, I know I'm sorry. I know what I did was terrible. I can't believe I have another shot at this. And I need to make the most of it. And when he sits beside Rosaline in the church, that was a legit, it's happened maybe 5 times in the history of this television program for me. So I need to point it out when it happens. Honest to God, great moment. Great moment of television. Really worked for me. So that really was great. The problem is we just don't remember it because of all the great stuff that happened. All the Nathan and Faith stuff, or Nathan and
he said great.
Elizabeth
He said it. He said it. He said it out loud.
Yeah,
what he's really thinking.
That's right.
He said it out loud.
You caught
was
me.
Lori at 90s Con?
She was not at 90s Con, no.
They couldn't afford her $300,000 price tag.
Don't worry. She's got a Photoshop guy. Photoshop her in.
Promo code
That was
DAX
big brains.
check out of the Say Yes to That.
All the feels. Jax, go.
I had them.
Yeah.
Yes for you, Jax?
No. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wait. Yeah,
It's your
what was
turn
that now?
for all the
I was
feels.
trying. I
Did you?
tried.
No, Dan, that was I have a couple feels, but that was my big feel of the episode. I thought that moment was so moving and beautiful, you know, especially there was a lot in this episode. And we did have the great scene beforehand with Rosaline and Gowan of her, talking to him about forgiveness and inviting him to the church. And then when he walks in, there's something for me about a small town church and singing and redemption, and it will always get me. So I thought that was really beautiful. Rosemary singing to her baby and a little duet with Lee got me. And then, of course, my boy Ben singing with May.
Yeah.
This romance is going to be hot and popping. I love musical theater, and they always have like the little ingenue and juvenile couple in musical theater. That's like, do you guys know? Are you familiar?
Break that down for me again.
Ingenue and
you have your leading man, your leading lady, and then you have like the side characters.
Onomatopoeia
like,
and your...
And you usually call them like your ingenue and your juvenile. Like it's like your,
Juvenile.
like this. Juvenile the rapper?
Talking
I don't know. I guess they're like usually younger and they're sweet and innocent. And that's what I see with May.
Your antelope and your juvenile.
Jackalope and antelope. Jackalope's dead.
This
killed in Mountie duty.
Anytime
Jackalope.
anytime I get to think about Sister Act 2 and the performance of Happy Day is a good day for me. This, they did sing that song and it paled in comparison, but it made me think about it.
In every way, shape, or form.
It made me think about it, and I'm better for it. Dan?
Said mine already with Gowan.
We'll be back. We're up against it.
Maybe the first time in the history of Deck the Hallmark, we legitimately were up against it.
Yeah, we're up against
it.
it.
That was a 35-minute segment, gang. Whoa.
Yeah, that's tough.
Maybe we didn't need 6 Dave Trestles or Rig.
Oh, I thought they really made it. Yeah. We got to introduce the newcomers.
We did take one break. We take a break after the synopsis.
That's true.
And Dave Trestle and Rig were both part of the synopsis. So don't besmirch their names.
It's a good use of besmirch.
Thank you. Let's besmirch our way over to to the Wait What. It's where we talk about anything in this episode that made us go, wait, what? And Jax.
Two big ones. When Lucas is giving Elizabeth the business about questioning, the creepy man in town who's like, oh yeah, I don't know the name of my stepson's school. And also like, dude, if you're going to pull a swindle, I'm assuming that this is what you do. You're pretty good at it. Do some research on this kid and like beef up your acting skills. Not like, oh yeah, that kid, he's loving that. Like, no. And then when Nathan and Elizabeth are chatting and she asks him how things are going with Faith, I love the moment. Like we all know this from either our real lives or TV and movies where someone's like, oh, things didn't work out. And you see the person trying to have empathy, but they're just like, yes, and so excited. I saw that with Elizabeth. But when Nathan said, yeah, Faith broke things off, I'm like, what? You weren't even like, I'm still not understanding this romance that happened that we didn't see any of it. So I'm feeling still very confused about everything that went down.
More than fair. My big wait was all have to do with no one is bad enough to be bad. When it comes to the singing, the choir to begin with isn't bad enough to be like to do the, hey, we're really bad, but now we're really good bit. May, when she's doing her vocal exercises, not bad enough to be bad. Like, it's like they do this thing where we're going to do it once and we're going to be like, oh man, it's not going to work out. No, we all knew it was going to work out because it was good from the beginning. Like it was marginally better by the end, but like it was pretty dang good to start with. And so hey, we're going to fumble over a couple of words here or there. Like when something's bad, like a choir's bad to begin with, it needs to be real dang bad, like in Sister Act 2. So yeah, mainly why is this movie not Sister Act 2? That's my biggest question. Dan?
Allie's a terrible babysitter, and I don't feel bad for her. This dude hides under a couch in broad daylight.
That he's like longer than
2 feet of just clear space. She doesn't even look there.
You want to know the most amazing part of that hiding spot?
It's one.
Is she counted downstairs?
Yeah. You could hear them. You could hear. If you've ever played hide and seek with a 3-year-old, it ain't rocket science.
No, you know exactly where they
If
are.
you lose that child, then you're not able to keep that child. And Elizabeth's like, she can watch him again. What?
If it's anything like hide and seek with my kids, 10 seconds
they're-
after, ready or not, here I come, they're going,
Yeah, they're laughing.
we're over here.
They're laughing, can't stay still, think it's hysterical. You can't find them right away, even though you can. There is no world. But Allie, terrible babysitter, did in fact lose him. But Elizabeth will let Allie watch Baby Jack.
What's up, baby?
We are up against it, Baby
I know.
Jack.
I just gotta say that she is a bad babysitter.
Okay, yes, correct. Is she a good person, though? Like
She's okay.
Offset.
No, she's great. She's great. I'm kidding, girl. You know, I do love apple juice.
You know what I love about you, Baby Jack?
What's up, baby?
Is your voice is a little different every time.
A little different.
A little different every time. It's so.
He's a
it's
grown
unique.
boy.
I'm a grown
He's
boy.
a growing boy. That's right.
That's exactly
Going
right,
through this-
Jax.
That's right. Thank you, Baby J. Appreciate
Love you,
that.
bud.
And the reason I think Elizabeth is willing to let Allie, who lost her child in 5 seconds and is a moron, watch her child again is because that would keep her from ever having to watch her child. And that would help Elizabeth a lot because in her trek, in her goal to never watch her child during waking hours, she needs all hands. And all hands includes the dumb babysitter that can't look under the couch she's sitting on.
Well, and like if you lose the baby, like then, glass half full,
That's
I
right.
don't have to have any more babysitters.
Oh, that's right.
So it's like all done here.
Wow.
All in, all done.
Man, I thought Say Yes to Dope was as bad as it was getting. And you're like, it's not as bad as it was getting. The town got a phone. I want to say this very slowly so you know how dumb this show is. The town in 1919 got a telephone and a radio before the church got a choir. Stay with me. The town technologically advanced to phone and radio, and the church was like, you know what we should have? Maybe a choir. A church choir is like built with the church. Like no church doesn't have a choir in the middle of a town. Are you kidding? How is this the first choir episode we're having 10 years into this show? I couldn't believe it. Just absolutely dumbfounded at the fact that all of a sudden we're starting a choir. That was something. That's all I've got.
It's time for Hopes and Valleys. It's where we talk about things that are giving us hope for the future or maybe bumming us out. Jax.
Yeah. So I'm hopeful for Hickam and May making more beautiful music together.
Wink, wink.
And I'm and I'm feeling a little bummed out. My valley is that I'm really fearing just so much more pain in this love triangle, just on all sides. And the only way out of it is through it.
You said it. I mean, my biggest fear is that nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
That we're going to get to the end of the season and it's just like,
Dude, that's all.
you guys were reading into it. It's nothing.
All I want.
Right? Like they can't.
Now that we've gone down this road, all I want is to be wrong now.
Because like
All I
even
want is for nothing to happen.
like a reminder in the chat, like the episode ends with Baby Jack leaving Lucas's side to go sit with Allie and Nathan. Like
that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
even Baby Jack is choosing
But
Nathan.
it like that scene which people in the chat have wanted us to talk about is like, bro, if my child who is sitting in church with me for some reason saw his babysitter, he would probably run over there. I don't.
Yeah,
like,
but your babysitter's dad isn't your the third part of the love triangle.
But the 3-year-old doesn't know that.
I know,
So
but
that
I'm just saying.
My thing is that it doesn't matter. Like that scene to me was a nothing burger of a scene.
It's something though
I
to be
didn't
like,
care.
hey,
like
yeah, but it
that's
goes
so
over to Luke.
normal.
Yeah, it is normal.
Here's the thing. Yes, it's normal, but this show, they're showing us things and they're like, go over there and that's going to mean that's his new
That's
family.
ridiculous. That's so ridiculous.
Or like it's
like
just
how many scenes have we had with Lucas and Baby Jack where they clearly have a chemistry?
Hey, buddy.
And he clearly looks out for him. There's too many of those
Yeah,
scenes
they do.
for us to count. And so once he goes and sits with his babysitter and everybody's like, well, there you go. There's some foreshadowing. I think that's dumb. I'm not having it. That is real stupid.
But
in
it's
my
just
opinion.
another thing that like they can put in a basket, and at the end of the season, Lucas be like, "Here are all the reasons why this is like." If they wanted to, Lucas could be like, "I've seen you talking to Nathan. I see Baby Jack likes him more than like." He could just go pity party and be like, "Hey, I'm running for mayor. It's clear you don't want this anymore." Blah blah blah. If they want to go in that direction, they could go full pity party.
I'm already getting emotional thinking about the scene between Lucas and little Jack where he's like, I'll always be your buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
You're already.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be sad.
Tough out there. That's enough out of you.
fair.
45 minutes in. Did you do yours yet?
Yes.
Okay. My hope is that there's another newspaper called the Buxton Beagle, and my valley is that they're not going to take over whatever it is in Hope Valley anytime soon, which I would love for them to. You know why this episode is so great? The amount of Lee and Rosemary, minimum. Like a classic 8 to 10 minutes, which is exactly how much we need. A nice little salt and pepper there is all we need.
To this point, this is the most screen time Elizabeth has had
gotten. Correct.
in seasons. In literal seasons. Minute on screen. I want someone to go and count it. Like she's on screen a majority of the episode.
Yeah, she is. It's about time.
About time.
About time.
It's time for the What's Calling My Heart. It's where we read an email somebody sent us letting us know kind of what's pulling at their heartstrings, something they're enjoying maybe, Dana?
Yeah, email is hello@deckthehallmark.com. Tell us what's calling your heart. This is from March 24th, 2023. It's from William Radowski. William Radowski. Hi, Bran, Dan, and Jax. What's calling my heart this week is the movie Jaws. It's a good choice, William. I seem to recall a months ago I'm going to try that again. I seem to recall.
I'm rubbing off on you.
What'd you say?
I'm rubbing
you
off
are
on
too
you.
close to you by proximity. I seem to recall a few months ago on your podcast that Dan mentioned how much he enjoys that movie. That's true. And that he has a frame poster of the film in his house.
Did you write this email?
I didn't write this email. I didn't, but I'm excited
Dan is
to read
so
it.
smart. He has such a great taste in movies.
Listen, if it's true, look, I didn't make this up.
Oh.
William Radowski sent this in.
It's a real name.
That's a real name. Of course it's a real name. I did not make
not
up.
one that you made
I
up.
did not make up a person's
It's not
name.
one that you made up
named
while watching
William Radowski.
It's not one you made up while watching Monsters Inc.
Billy Rudds. I don't know. All right. Monsters Inc. Yeah. Mike Wazowski. I don't have one of those posters, but it's absolutely one of my all-time favorites. I was randomly thinking of it the other day, had to pop it in the DVD player to watch while I was busy doing some work around the house. A few years ago, my family and I went to Martha's Vineyard and saw a few of the filming locations. Wow. We also jumped off the Jaws Bridge, which is a local tradition there. It was a bit scary, but a good time. Last year in September, they re-released Jaws into the theater and they converted it to 3D. Oh, it was a time. I have two girls aged 5 and 8. You didn't take them, did you, Willie? You didn't do it.
Let's find out.
And I thought it would be a great idea to take them to see because I remember seeing it when I was little. Both kids had seen Jurassic Park and had no issues watching dinosaurs rip people in half. So I figured this would go over pretty good. Well, my 8-year-old was terrified and wanted to leave the theater several times. The tipping point finally came of about 30 minutes to go. She was so surprised at Jaws jumping out of the water, she screamed and accidentally flung her 3D glasses off her head and across the theater. It was at that point she left with her mom to go wait outside in the lobby. My 5-year-old took the opportunity to crawl in my lap with her popcorn and keep watching. At the climax of the film, when Chief Brody shoots the oxygen tank, spoiler everyone,
Good Lord.
and makes a big explosion, she yelled at the top of her lungs, "The shark blew up!" and started laughing hysterically. She then ran out of the theater to go tell her sister, took a lap, and came back in to see the credits roll with me. Looks like I know who my movie buddy is going to be. Also, that movie is still a banger after 48 years. Anyway, thought I would share. Have a good rest of your week. Bill Radowski. P.S. Here's a photo of my kid's final impression of the movie. This is fantastic. There is an 8-year-old girl with a Superman t-shirt on giving a big thumbs down. And then the younger one with an absolute thumbs up.
She's
It's
loving it.
fantastic. I love it. Bill, thanks so much.
Thank
Really
you,
appreciate
Bill.
it. Yeah. Bill Radowski. See, I didn't make that up.
No, you did not. No, you did not. I can't believe you went to the theater and you got 2 kids to take a picture for this bit. It's super weird. We'll talk about it off air. We'll be back next week with another one. Fast Fridays tomorrow. Until then, first, wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast. Is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.